Right, here we are, Bessy Beck. End of spring, early summer, bit of cloud, but the fish are rising. And it's sort of that time of year now where I stick my lure boxes back in the bag, and it's all dry fly and buzzer work now for the next few weeks and months before the heat kicks in. Just come down the downwind bank and there's plenty of fish moving, just softly head and tail rising out on the water, which indicates to me that those fish are probably eating a few early hatching buzzers this morning. So that's going to be my start point. I can't not target those rising fish. So probably going to look at fishing double dry, probably two different styles of dry fly. So just drop things down a little bit. I've got a 9-foot rod, 5-weight line, fishing nice and light. Fish just move right tight in here on the downwind bank. So that 9-foot 5-weight, I should be able to cover fish at a reasonable distance, but it's also got a little bit of softness in it. Nice and light because I'm fishing small hooks for those rising fish. I'm going to put two different styles of buzzer patterns on to start off with. So on the point, I'm going to go with a little black F-fly. Yesterday apparently there were a few hawthorn flies kicking about, so a little black F-fly might trigger those fish from yesterday that remember them hawthorns to come on and have a look. But also use buzzer feeding trout. So again, just this time half blood knot. Wet it, pull it in tight. A little bit of a tag. Make that off nice and tight. Again, just try the knot again. Yeah, okay. Now I'm not going to launch these males out, and I'm not going to get right on the end of that platform. I'm going to fish close in to start off with. I know there's fish rising further out, but there might be fish closer in. Okay, they might not be rising here, but they'll still come up and take a dry. So I'm just letting that just go round as a fish just boil around the point fly straight away. So even with 4 pound, something's not quite right. So it could be the style of fly, could be the colour, but something wasn't quite right there. Fish boiled around that straight away. Off we go again. So as the wind and the ripple just takes the flies and the fly line round, keeping the rod tip low and following the rod tip round with the fly line. So I'm always in touch with those flies. Just as about to swap and put 3 buzzers on, a fish has come and taken the point F fly. Drizzle's just started to kick in here, and it has just put the fish down, but rather than switching to 3 nymphs, I wanted to persevere a little bit with the dries because the action on dry fly takes some beating, and we don't get many months of the year where we can target rising fish and catch fish off the surface. So going back to the original thing about choice of rod, 9-foot 5-weight, look at the bend in that rod. I can feel every twist and turn in this fish. It's a couple of pound, but I've got plenty of cushion, plenty of softness in it. In the play, I've got a light leader on and a small fly on. So it's a decent little fish this, doing a nice little scrap. Here he comes. Yes, I can see that right in his mouth, so he really wanted that. So I always stick the rod down to the side and try and keep the fish in the water as long as I can. Barber sockets come out. Yeah, I've not even had to sort of touch that fish. It can go back to eat a few more buzzers. Off you go. Lovely. Right, time for another. Now, quite a few anglers here today. There's 3 on this lake. There's 4 or 5 behind on the bottom lake. So it's a little bit of a go catch get together today. We've got Tim here and Pete here from the team. Pete's already had a decent fish, about 8 pound on a hawthorn dry. Tim's picked a couple up as well on a dry, so Good fish this, nice big tail on him. Nice, just see the fly, yes. Nice silver fish, beautiful. What a cracking fish that is. Proper rainbow, lovely fish. Let's get him back. Line will shoot this time. There's a lot of bad angling going on there. Net in the wrong place, rod in the wrong place. You know, it's about stood on the line, and when it's gone those big runs, it's right in the roof of his mouth. A hard bit of skin there, even though it's a barber suck. Push him out into deeper water. Off he goes, look at that. Brilliant. Okay, I just wanted to talk through a sort of tactics at this time of year for dry fly fishing, what I've been using, just to go over some of the sort of basics again. So today I've got a nice 10-foot leader on, 2 flies, and again I like to try 2 different styles of flies, 2 different colours until I've worked out what those fish want. So short leader, it means I can get good turnover, good presentation, certainly if I want to fish on that downwind bank. So style of fly wise, for sort of dries, at the moment I'm looking at different sort of styles of buzzer patterns. And a little bit later you'll see in the sort of 2 glasses in front of me how those flies sit differently on the surface, because sometimes that will make a difference. So I started off with a small black F fly on the point and a shipman's buzzer on the dropper. 2 different colours, and they sit slightly different in the surface of the water. Now the beauty about a 2 fly setup for me, I can fish 2 different sort of styles of dry fly fishing, plus if I need to, with the styles of flies that I'm using, I can pull and move them back, which has worked today. There's certain styles of fly which you can't do that with because of the nature of how they sit and then the materials that they're made out with. So things like top hat buzzers, which have worked today, you know, really for me, you know, moving them back, it won't work. The same with sort of shuttlecock buzzers, yeah, they won't work, move back. But things like the left flies and shipman's buzzers, yeah, that kind of thing, move back under the surface, can be very, very effective. In the pint glasses in front of me, unfortunately it's not a nice blonde bitter, it's water out of the lake. You can see how clear it is, and this is one of the reasons why I fish smaller flies. The water is pretty clear here, and we're after fish which have been caught and released a few times. So for me, the smaller, the sparser, the better. But when you look at these flies and how they sit in the water, the F fly, which I talked about, does sit quite buoyant on top. It's a good sighter fly, it's a good fly I can see in that ripple. The shipman sits really flat, yeah, and it's difficult to see in the water. The top hat and the shuttlecock are actually cocked in the water, yeah, they're imitating something which is hatching off. And some days they'll only take the top hat or the shuttle, some days they'll only take the shipman's or the F fly. So dry fly fishing, we have a short window for it on these small still waters, and end of March, definitely April, definitely May, and the first part of June, it's the period to sort of let's get away from, you know, the sort of lures and bright stuff that we fish all through the winter months, and let's get on to fishing some dries. There's nothing better, in my opinion, than seeing a fish come and head and tail, take that dry. It's very visual, and the fish tend to be like bullets. They're lean, mean fighting machines. So those initial plump fat stockies, they've lost that puppy fat now and they've turned into proper pure athletes. Today the fights, the power that those fish move at, you know, is unbelievable. And dry fly fishing is probably the cream of our sport. It's the best part of fly fishing. So if you get the opportunity, get yourself a handful of nice drab dry fly patterns, get yourself some nice fine leader, mark your floating line up if you want to, yeah, and get out on your local still water. The fishing now is absolutely superb. So another fish in the afternoon session. The fish keep coming to the dries, this time just twiddled back under the surface. So fishing them dry for a short period of time and just popping them back under. So if you're up in this neck of the woods, give Bessy Beck a go. There's 3 lakes here, gin clear water. The dry fly fishing is superb. The winter fishing, even better. Look at the fish going now. I've travelled up today from Stafford, a couple of hours. It's just off junction 38 on the M6. It's about 10-minute drive, if that, off junction 38, M6 North. There's accommodation here. The lads are staying here who are doing the filming. It's absolutely stunning. Sleeps 4, self-catering, some nice takeaways up the road, nice local pub. You couldn't ask for more. These fish, hard fighting, scrapping fish. Reared on site on their own fish farm. These guys not just stock their own waters, but they supply fish to other waters locally. This fish is going again. So it's a great venue, great venue. Ian and Shelley have been running this fishery for many years now. So if you're in the lakes on holiday, or you fancy staying here overnight, come and give Bessy a go. Great venue. Come on fish, in you come and I can go home. Lovely. Yes.